So you talk about like changing your identity. Can you give me a few ways that you can change your identity?
Yeah, so there's the surface level way, which is like write it down on paper and do incantations and stuff like that. They've done studies on this. Incantations work if you don't have any internal conflicts. If you have internal conflicts and you do incantations, what it does is it reinforces it's not true, and it doesn't work that well, right? So the first thing you want to do is you want to get rid of what's holding you back from believing you can be that identity in the first place. So I'll give you a story. When I was at rock bottom, it's 3 a.m. at my parents' house, and I'm like, something's going to change right now. I asked myself a different question, and not what do I have to do? Because if it was about doing something, it was my health, my wealth, my relationship, everything was a zero. It would be insurmountable to fix everything with a to-do list. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I go, well, I read a book called The One Thing. What's the one thing where if you do that, the rest of it becomes automatic, easy, or everything changes? So I started asking the one thing, what's the one thing I got to do? And I go, well, why am I stuck right now? Why am I not doing what I know? And the answer was, every result in my life is either because of something I'm doing or something I'm failing to do. The relationship I was in, it's not my fault. She was an alcoholic, but I chose to stay. Well, why would I choose to stay? My business, the guy went out of business. It's not my fault that he went out of business. I didn't hold him accountable sooner, and I didn't set the boundary sooner. I allowed it to get to that point. So why am I allowing these things? I go, okay, well, it's because of my beliefs. I don't believe that I'm not assertive. I'm not this, I'm not that. It's, okay, well, where do my beliefs come from? Well, my beliefs came from my identity. I am this, I'm that, I'm not good enough, I'm a fraud, all these different things. I go, where the hell did my identity come from? And I go, well, that must have came from my conditioning, early childhood, things like that. But I go, wait a minute, I don't have 1 ounce of DNA from my mom because I'm adopted, right? So I go, and I had a great upbringing. And I finally figured it out. I go, it's because of the adoption. Because there was, consciously I grew up with it. There was not a problem with it whatsoever. But unconsciously, in my nervous system, one of my first memories of life was being put up for adoption. And so what that created was an unconscious internal identity that you're an imposter and nobody wants you around. And it didn't show up until much, much later in life. But all of a sudden, that shows up in business, that shows up in relationships, shows up in career, all these different aspects of life. So what I found, because I've worked with over 100 people now over the past couple of years, it's not always like that, but there's always some type of unconscious conflict somewhere, age of like 0 to 7 or something, where it's in you and it's holding you back completely and it's messing you up and it's holding you back from really being who you're meant to be. And if you can pull that out, everything will turn around.
That's so fire!
Fire, fire, fire!
That's so fire, baby! That's so fire!
Fire!
That's so fire! Ow!